Good afternoon, everyone. This is an update on the tropics for September 13th, 2022. We have two disturbances in the Atlantic and newly named Invest 96L currently east of the Lesser Antilles. Let's get right into it. As you can see, here's the Atlantic Basin, and there is Invest 96L, which has a 40% chance of a cyclone formation in 5 days. Let me highlight that for you. There is Invest 96L right there, and that will be headed to the northwest throughout the next 5 days. We also do have a disturbance currently over the Cabo Verde Islands, and this only has a 10% chance of a cyclone formation in 5 days, so unlikely due to dry air and shear. And as you can see, we do have a high pressure that is currently right about here, and also another high pressure that is right here, and this is what's guiding Invest 96L straight up to the northwest into the Caribbean in the next 5 days here. We also have a low pressure system that is far up north here, and this definitely has quite a spin of it. Non-tropical, but just quite a bit of spin with that low pressure that will be headed to the northeast. Here's the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook. As you can see, we have those two disturbances in the Atlantic. We also have that disturbance 1, which is in the orange, and that is Invest 96L. Has a 40% chance of a cyclone formation in 5 days. As you can see, noted by the National Hurricane Center, it does say a tropical depression could form while the system moves westward to west-northwestward over the tropical Atlantic and approaches the Leeward Islands on Friday. And there's disturbance 2, which only has a 10% chance. Environmental conditions are forecast to remain only marginally favorable during the next several days, and the chance for development appears to be decreasing again due to wind shear and dry air. The majority is going to be dry air in the way of this thing as it moves to the northwest. Let's go and look at the European model, the 0Z run from yesterday afternoon. Well, actually, pretty much the overnight run that came out last night. And as you can see, there's the low pressure system. Not sure if this was actually Hurricane Earl that is just kind of stationed up here as that low pressure, but I'm not sure. That is definitely a very large low pressure system up there that is non-tropical. Now, let's go and move forward. There is Invest 96L. There's our the tropical wave. There's our high pressure right there. Let's go and move forward here. Again, there's those double high pressures that's just leading this westward into the Caribbean. Not much development around 2 days from now. This is going to be September 15th, and we do have actually quite a bit of circulation with it by then as this approaches the Leeward Islands. But this heads into the Virgin Islands and really starts to weaken here and goes over to Puerto Rico. A lot of land that's going to weaken it a bit and kind of keep it from developing. However, it somehow survives according to the European model as it heads over the Dominican Republic, heading over the Turks and Caicos. It really gets going here by September 22nd. Now, this is over 200 hours out from now, so things will change, but there's a chance that this will develop here over the Turks and Caicos into a possible tropical storm around the second half of September here. As we are around the middle of September, we are going to be heading into the second half of September very soon. And this is when I think we will see another tropical storm or so somewhere here, possibly in the Caribbean. Again, that's just one model, so we're going to look at other models to see what they say. Again, that's why they increase the chance, because they are seeing something in the models here that this could develop into later on. Alright, now we're looking at the CMC model, which is extremely interesting. This has a very big scenario happening with this. And there's Invest 96L. It has it as pretty much nothing as it heads throughout the Caribbean here, and still nothing as it heads throughout Cuba, as again those mountains are just going to keep it from developing. Then it makes its way into the Gulf, where I've been saying the Gulf has been primed for any tropical storms that do head into this, which it makes its way to the Gulf somehow, some way. It makes its way to the Gulf here, and it kind of curves westward. Once it kind of heads through western Florida, it curves westward and then becomes a possible hurricane in the Gulf. That is, again, one model, but another model that does have this developing and more tropical waves just behind it there that do head westward into the Gulf, which I believe, again, the second half of September, we do have a more likelihood of these tropical waves actually making its way through the Caribbean. All right, and here's another model. This is the Icon model, which, again, if we go ahead and move forward here, there's Invest 96L, pretty much the same path as all these other models. Well, it kind of has the same path as actually the European model. It doesn't have the same path as the CMC model, but it does agree with the Euro model. It has it developing as it goes over the Turks and Caicos there into a possible hurricane around September 20th, which that has it developing a little bit earlier, about 180 hours out from now. Again, it's quite far out and things will change, but again, we've seen a lot of these models that do agree with this developing. Of course, it doesn't have the disturbance currently over the Cabo Verde Islands developing. That just has to go through some dry air. But this Invest 96L does have, these models do have it going through this dry air, surviving, and then becoming a possible tropical storm or even hurricane. We don't really know yet, but again, that 40% chance is definitely something, and it does have that chance to possibly develop into our next tropical storm. Finally, we're going to look at the GFS model, which is interesting with these systems because usually the GFS model kind of overhypes these. Now, there's the Invest 96L right now, and since this is a big model, it might not even notice Invest 96L. I'm not sure. But as you can see, it kind of has it going into the same path, but doesn't have it really developing. As you can see, it makes an appearance right there in Cuba, so that means it has a similar scenario to the CMC model, just doesn't have it developing there in the Gulf. But it does have around 2 systems around September 26th, and that's way too far out. That will change, and just unrealistic beyond that point, around the halfway of the GFS model. So GFS model is kind of weird with today's runs, and definitely I don't really prefer the GFS model for tropical weather. We're gonna keep you updated as much as possible on Invest 96L with these daily tropical updates. So subscribe to the channel and turn on those bell notifications so you won't miss a single daily tropical update at around 2 p.m. Central Time. Also, make sure to like the video, leave a comment if you want to support the channel even more. Make sure, if you want to, click the super thanks or even the join button for special channel perks here on YouTube. But as always, I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe.